Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. I'm really excited today. I'm also a little chilly, as you can see, but I suspect that our guest today might be a little chillier. Well, if she were to go outside, maybe not right now, but she's got the good plans for warming up. Welcome to the show, Rachel. I'm so happy to have you here. Would you please just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about where you are right now?
Yeah, super excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's so fun to get to connect with other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So I'm Rachel, as she said. I actually was a nurse for a long time, but I decided to leave the bedside and go into entrepreneurship. I'm actually from Alaska. I was raised here. I am still here. And today, or actually yesterday, we got some snow. So it's winter. It's winter.
There's no stopping it. What part of Alaska are you in?
So I'm up in Fairbanks, which is in the center of the state. And the cool thing about Fairbanks is that we have huge temperature variation. In the summers, it can get 80s. And then in the winter, we get 40 below.
Ooh, below.
So it's literally cool.
Very cool place to live. Right?
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's wild. So I don't know if you know Teresa Taylor. She's also okay, great. I was like, oh, that's my other favorite Alaskan. So now I have two.
Yeah.
Right?
She's actually, I think she's from Anchorage, which is like 6 hours south of us. And
right.
we love going
balmy.
to Anchorage.
That's amazing. So wild. One of these days I'm making it out there. So it's actually, I flew to the Philippines in like 1987 and we stopped in Alaska. So I was like, technically I've been here. But wonderful. Well, I'm so excited. Like this is, also I have a friend who followed a similar path where she was a nurse and now she's in entrepreneurship. So I will be sure to connect you. Jamie is her name, but.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, okay, what? I have so many questions. Okay. Tell us, like, how did you get that entrepreneurial spark? Here you are, I assume, working really hard as a nurse. That is like not an easy job at all. And what was it that sparked it for you? Like all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to do this.
Well, honestly, it was, it was hard. It was a hard job as a nurse. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was okay working as an employee. I was just okay, showing up, punching a time clock, getting paid, right? Like that was fine. But ultimately I burnt myself out doing that. Because I actually was a leader. I was a director of a surgery center for 4 years. So with that, I got paid salary. And when you are a salary employee, you don't have set hours, right?
Yeah,
so I found out
true.
I'm a workaholic.
Oh.
I was working way too many hours and it was a pretty stressful position. There were some things that we were dealing with within our facility that just were pretty stressful. Plus the pandemic hit and having to tell all of my employees and friends and really family, because I worked there for so long, that I don't have work for you. You need to go home.
Yeah. Like
that's tough. So there were just a lot of things that I had to deal with in my time there. And I have 2 kids at home and they're young. I was just missing out on a lot of their lives. So one day I just said, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore. This isn't aligning with my mission and goals. I love being a nurse and I love helping people. It's one of my biggest passions, but I love my kids and my family more, and my mental health is way more important to me. So that's when I decided to readjust. I actually went into travel nursing for a little bit. but I found out travel nursing was still similar. Like there wasn't much of a change. So after I finished one assignment, I just was like, you know what, there's got to be something different. And so that's when I started going into the entrepreneurial space. My husband has actually encouraged me for a long time to do this. Oh. And so he was finally so excited.
He's like, I want my wife back.
Yes, exactly. So together, we run various businesses together, have multiple income streams that we do together. And the beautiful thing about doing this, stepping out as an entrepreneur, is that now we travel full time. So yes, I'm back home in Alaska because we love it here. We have family here. Yeah. But my favorite thing to do is go out and travel and explore and see the rest of the 49 states, right? Like, and Canada. So we travel full time, and it's been amazing.
That's incredible. I mean, it's saying something when I mean, entrepreneurship is, one of the big complaints is, oh my gosh, I'm working 80 hours a week for myself just so I don't have to work 40 hours a week for somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. And to say like, okay, this is so much better. Like, first, it just says how stressful the healthcare profession can be if like moving into entrepreneurship is actually like, I love that. I mean, that's phenomenal. And to have your husband's like encouragement and urging and all this to do this and make that jump, that is huge. So well done.
And really, the thing is, I get time back with my family, and that's what I was missing. Like, I was away from them so much. Right. And now the various businesses we have, I'm able to do it where I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on my business now, like when the kids are sleeping, or I can work on it, at certain blocks of the day. It's not like I'm gone from 6:30 in the morning until whenever at night. So that's where this is more fulfilling for me.
So amazing. That is so great. Okay. So I want to hear, you'd said multiple streams. So I'm thinking multiple businesses maybe, but walk me through that. What does it look like for you now to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so we actually have some real estate. We have some land that is going to be sold soon. And then we have a rental that we've actually managed for a long time, but we own it anyways. So real estate, and then we do, oh gosh, my husband just started publishing books on Amazon. So that's kind of cool. Actually, one of our very first book that we published is RVing to Alaska. Oh, wow. So if anybody, it's not just for RVers, okay? It's just like our favorite things to do in Alaska, because he was born and raised here and I grew up here. So if you are interested in coming to Alaska, you need to read this book.
Yeah, no kidding. Get it right from
the
locals. That's great.
So yeah, that's one of them. And then I run some other businesses on Facebook. I actually am in affiliate marketing, and I help people build and scale a business online. So actually, I just got off of a call with somebody that I mentor, and I was able to help him close a sale where he's going to make $3,000 commission. So nice. Super exciting that now I'm able to help people. Like I have that passion for serving people, and I can help serve them in a different way and be home with my family and traveling and doing all these things that I love too. So
this is called having your cake and eating it too.
Exactly.
Right there. I love it. That is so cool. And the real estate, it's interesting because like a lot of people aspire to have real estate. A lot of people are terrified. Like, I kind of like the idea, but I think it's going to be so much work. And it can be, but it also, once you kind of get through the learning curve, I mean, there's always surprises. So I guess it's not completely finished on the learning curve, but what have you done? Like, how has that gone for you? That experience of, all the different, having land that you're selling, having rentals that you're doing, all of that. How has that been just in your experience?
Honestly, my husband manages most of that, and he does have real estate experience in his past. He was a real estate agent here in Fairbanks for a little bit, and so he has some experience, and he manages most of that. But the beautiful thing with that is that with the rental property, we've set ourselves up with passive income. And what I love about it, like we have a little bit coming in every month, you know, over the top of all the expenses, but also the renter is paying on our mortgage payment for that house. So like it's a win-win. We've got, you know, built up equity in that house because of having this renter. And at some point when we want to sell it, there's just, if you don't do anything in real estate, the one thing you do need to do is get into something where you can build that equity in a house, right? Like, it's hard. It's hard to have a renter. It's hard to know, especially our rental is in Alaska. It's in Fairbanks, Alaska. It gets cold here, like I already said. If a renter decides to leave, or if they decide to leave the garage door open at some point, that can be tragedy, right? So yes, there are challenges that come with being a landlord. Thankfully, we haven't had those sorts of challenges, but I wouldn't do it any other way, and I'm super excited. We're going to be expanding, and nice. Our goal is actually to build an RV park, several RV parks across the US, so that we can then offer solutions to people in other ways too, and just build that passive streams of income.
That's really cool. Are you aware of Heather Blankenship? That's her name. Oh, you want to look her up. She basically mentors people. I hope I have her name right. I'm pretty sure I do. So I believe she was in her like early 20s, had a bunch of kids, was really broke, and somehow, I don't know how this happened, I haven't heard the whole story, but ended up buying an RV park that was like $1 million.
Oh, wow.
With what? I don't know. Like some creative financing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then within a year, you know, the very short period of time, was able to expand that so that it was then became worth about $8 million. And now she's got a string of them, and she teaches people how to do that. So
that's
that'd be worth looking. I have no idea what her programs run or anything, but I was like, if I were doing RVs, that's who I would want to like find out more.
Awesome. So, that's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's awesome. I you know, the whole idea of helping people get outside more, we have that shared goal. So, and RVing will definitely do that. You go see all like, well, I haven't ever been an RVer. What do you love about it?
Oh, well, I love the freedom. Honestly, that's my favorite part. So we actually never RV'd until we decided to move into one full time. So it's a little weird, but
head first.
You know, there's a lot of learning curves that we had to figure out, and a lot of YouTube video watching. I'll tell you that. That's like my number one tip for anyone who wants to become a digital nomad and live in an RV. YouTube is your best friend. Oh yes. But I love the freedom and flexibility that we have with it, and I love that. You know, like right now, okay, you guys just had a terrible storm that ripped through where you guys are, and then of course Florida and all of that. Living in an RV, I don't have to stay there for that.
That's true. Absolutely.
I can just up and be like, well, I don't want to deal with this. Let's go.
Don't like this one.
So we leave. If we find a place that we don't like, we just go somewhere else.
That's great. I like that. If
we find a place we love, we stay longer. And it's just more freeing and flexible. Yeah, there are tons of hardships that you have when you live in an RV, and when your house rolls down the road every single day, causing a huge earthquake. There's problems with that, but I love the freedom of that lifestyle, and I have really enjoyed getting immersed in other states and other, I want to say even cultures in our own country. Wow. Like there are so many different variations in our own country. Just getting to learn that and getting immersed in those cultures, I've been like, my mind is blowing. This little Alaska girl is learning so much, just exploring the country in our RV, and it's been so fun.
That's amazing. That's so great. You know, I've often, when I was younger, I used to think, man, it's too bad we get like maybe 70, maybe 100 years here, you know, but it's like, there's so many careers I would love to, or you know, like businesses or just things I would like to do. There's so many places I'd like to live, and it's like you can't do all of them, right? But if you're in an RV, maybe you can. I don't know.
You can. You could be like, I'll live here a month and there a month. And
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And then how old are your kids?
My son is 10 and my daughter is 7. So we've been in the RV about 2 years. So they're right at the age where they're like really enjoying it and they're going to remember it.
Yeah.
But not quite to the point where they're like, okay, we're done with this.
Rolling their eyes big time, right?
Yeah.
Are you homeschooling as well?
Mm-hmm,
I was going to say, I don't know how it would work otherwise, but
yeah,
that's really cool.
I was actually homeschooled growing up. So to be able to homeschool my kids, that was always a dream and passion of mine that I wanted to do at some point. And then somehow I went to nursing school and that changed, right? But now I can do that again. And I love it. And they know, so since we've been traveling in the RV, they know so much more about our country than I ever did at that age.
Yeah.
Like my daughter's like, we have this puzzle of the US. And she's like putting all the states together. She's like, that's Idaho, Utah, Montana. Like she's naming all these states. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. Because she's been there and she's seen it and she remembers it. And it's so cool because you don't see that in a 7-year-old.
No, you really don't. And to be honest, this is embarrassing, but I never ever had a geography class. I ended up switching schools halfway through high school where I would have had it. I didn't have it. So at one point, my family, when I was growing up, we moved to Colorado. I didn't know where it was.
Oh no.
That was let's see, after sophomore year. So a little embarrassing. And I'm like behind the curve. There are little kids who can pop out. I can do the states now, but I don't know all the capitals. There are little kids that go, this. I'm like, that is an incredible childhood that you're giving them. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. The adventure that they're on, the knowledge and the firsthand knowledge that they're having. That's really cool. My goodness. All right. Now, okay. So we had the real estate. Now the affiliate stuff, how is that going for you and what got you into it?
Well, that's actually going really well. It's really well.
Nice.
I got started 2 years ago when we moved into the RV and let me back up for a minute. My husband one day when I was so burnt out at my job, actually in 2019, I came home from work and he was like, we're going to make all this money online. You're going to quit your job. And I was like, you're so funny.
I'm a cutie, huh? You're so cute.
Okay, whatever. Yeah. Anyways, so I humored him. He had bought this course on affiliate marketing. And I'm like, all right, we'll do this, whatever. And so we went through the course, but we could never find a niche. We could never find a product. And we could never find something that met our needs. And plus I was like, no, I'm busy. Like I got things to do at my job. Right? Like I'm over here working to make somebody else money. That's not what my mindset was, but that's what I was doing, right? Yeah. Anyways, so then fast forward several years, I finally burn out and I'm like exhausted, tired, and trying to figure something else out because I love the idea of traveling with the family. But I can't always have a nursing job traveling with the family, right? Like that's, I could do travel nursing, but that was getting me away from the kids. I needed to be home. I needed to be with my family. So I thought back to this course that we bought a long time ago.
Blow off the digital dust.
I'm like, okay, maybe we should see if I can log back into that, try to remember the passwords, all that. So I did that and I was able, it took me a little bit. I'll be honest, like getting into the online space is not easy. I had to find a mentor at some point. And then honestly, the biggest thing was I had to find a product that I could get behind. Something that didn't feel gross or something that I can actually use and support, right? Because I tried other things and I'm like, it was like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if it stuck and nothing stuck and nothing worked. But once I got that mentor and I found a product that I could stand behind, that's when everything changed. And so now I run that business. I run it completely from my Facebook page. So all I need is a cell phone and an internet connection. So literally nomad lifestyle, right? And that's what I wanted. But since I started that business, now I help other people do the same thing. And
that's so cool.
Again, that's my passion is to help people. My passion is to serve people. I've always been helping people, which is why I burnt myself out in nursing. So now I can help people in other ways too. I can help them financially make an income online and just like change their life. So it's really awesome.
That's amazing. And it is that same heart that's in you that it was like, I want to help people feel better in their body, like get them healthy, all of the things that would drive you into nursing. And now like, okay, well, that almost killed everything. Let's do it in a way that I can actually continue to do this without, sacrificing my mental health, my family, my, freedom, all that kind of stuff. That was really, really cool. And amazing that, I mean, you never hear of people, let me back that up. Usually like a course, people will go, maybe they go through part of it. I think the completion rate on most courses is 5%, 1%. I mean, it's bad. No matter how much it costs, people just don't finish. And so not only did you did it, you had to like put it aside, but then when you got back into it, you actually made it work, which, I mean, whoever the course creator was has got to be loving you. So well, she did it. Right?
The course gave me the foundations. It was really the mentorship that I was missing. So the mentorship, that's how I was able to find the success was then I could bounce questions off of somebody and they could tell me that I'm right or wrong, or they can help guide me, walk alongside me. So that's the key part that I was missing initially. And I mean, the course, like I said, it gave me the good foundation, but it was the mentorship that really helped.
What a great distinction. That's huge. So how did you go about finding your mentor?
Honestly, I connected with her on Facebook.
How about that?
Of all things. I was building my network on Facebook and I connected with her and just started a conversation. Like she was just another person, another mom, wife. She's faith-based, which I am as well, a believer. So I was just like, ooh, I like her content. I'm going to follow her and I'm going to watch her. And the more I watched her, the more I got to know her. And then we started a conversation and I was like, I need to know what you're doing. And she was like, I can help you. And so anyways, I think that God really just opened the door for us at that point. He was just like, here, connect. She's in Vancouver, Canada. And at the time that I connected with her, I can't even remember. I think I was in Texas. So, just somewhere across the world, right? But Facebook has shrunk the world.
Yeah, so it really has.
So we can connect with each other in different ways. And anyways, she gave me all the support, the mentorship, and the guidance that I needed. And just really, like I said, helped me walk through the path. Like I already knew what to do. I already had all the course, but applying it and helping me apply it in the way that would work best for me and my goals, that's what helped me the most.
That's so amazing. And that's true. Like most courses or all courses, typically it's like you go through it and you're like, I think I got it. Do I really got it? Like, well, what if I need it a little bit different? Like how that's really cool. And then can I ask, like, are you paying her? Like, is she a paid mentor or did you just strike up a friendship and it went like that?
Oh, that's a good question. So honestly, it is a community that we're in together. So it's a business model where we promote certain products and when we make that investment to get into the community. So there was an initial investment that was required, but I knew that this is where I needed to be. And, like when you weigh the cost of staying where you are, that nothing was working, right? Yeah. Nothing was working. I needed something because I did not want to go back to my nursing job. That burnt me out. My mental health is way, way more important than that.
Yes.
So weighing the cost of where I was versus the cost of moving forward, it was nothing. Like
brilliant.
Absolutely nothing. So I was scared. Honestly,
sure.
I'm a nurse. I work in surgery. We cut people open. I know how to do that.
But this scared you. Right?
But jumping into the online space where I didn't even have a Facebook for 4 years, and like I didn't know anything about technology aside from like charting in a medical record.
Yeah, really.
You know, this was all new to me, but I just knew that I needed something different. And so I was willing to put in the effort, and I knew from nursing, I knew that mentorship is what got me to be a good nurse, right? So I knew that mentorship would get me to be good in affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
And so,
that is so smart.
Yeah.
You were able to take your past experiences and go, all right, you already know you're smart. You already know you're a hard worker. Like these things, that's just facts because look at where you were, right? And you'd already had an experience with mentorship. So you knew like this is, and that makes making a decision, like a buying decision, like, okay, I'm going to invest in this community so I can have this mentorship. It makes it like a lot easier to, not obviously praying and looking but just on that internal stuff, it's like you were very smart with how you did that. That's so cool. And then it's paying off, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So what is and now you're teaching people. So I want to get to that too, but as you're doing your, the work of affiliate marketing, like you said, it's just on your phone. And so what does your work time look like for that part of your world?
Honestly, it's only a couple hours a day, not even. And it's nice. Like I said, I can time block it. So I can do certain things that I know will help move my business forward in like 15-minute segments so that I can get up in the morning, work for an hour and then get my kids up. We can do school and then take a break, and then I can do a little bit more work and then get back into school. And I'm like, it's something that I can do around my lifestyle. And that's where all the difference has been made.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. That's so great because, homeschool, it's like, there are times where you're like, okay, kids, now there's things that they need to go do independently to work on. And what are you going to do? Sit, you're not going to sit and eat bonbons.
No.
And now, and then also it keeps it fresh for you. Like you're not just working on your business. You're not just homeschooling. It's like you have that ability. You can kind of mix it up a little bit during the day, but without it being like you're trying to stuff way too many things in the day. Do you feel like you've kind of found a really good balance? It sounds like it.
I'm getting there. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a workaholic. That's my own problem. So I need to work on that a little bit better. But I'm glad in this environment, at least I'm home. Yeah. At least I still, like, my kids are right there and they're like, Mom, I have this question. So I can just turn off for a second and I can be present. Whereas, if I'm leaving to go to work, it's not as easy to turn off, right?
No.
Because there's just distractions of work. And my phone could be on silent. It could be in my locker, whatever. Like I'm missing out on things. So, that's where the difference is that I'm here. Like, yes, I'm still a workaholic. I still catch myself at midnight and I'm like, oh no, I should probably go to bed now. But I found a lot more balance this way.
Well, that's so amazing. That's really cool. I mean, that's, as a mom, my kids are grown and I wish I had figured that out, a way to, because I was doing freelance writing from 2005 onward. And it's like, if you're not writing, you're not making money. And it's, but at least with affiliate stuff, it's like you have the potential that you could end up making way more compared to like how much time you're putting in and how much attention it takes. And like you found, things that actually work. So you just rinse and repeat and do it again and again, rather than off to another shiny object. So that's awesome. And now you're coaching people as well. How's that going? And how did you start, doing that instead or with it? I mean, not instead.
It's kind of the way that our community works. So I got in, I learned from my mentor how to do everything. And then I was able to find other people that were interested as well. And basically they saw how I changed my life with affiliate marketing and what things were changing. And so they were like, okay, you know what you're doing. And then that's how I provide service and value to people. Cause you know, I'm here to help people. How many times can I say it?
Yeah.
So, you know, some communities, some places that you get into with affiliate marketing, you're just kind of like, here, this is what you do. Somebody shares information and then they ghost you, they leave you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in that. So I learned what I know, and I know it's successful. So why can't I pay it forward to somebody else, right? So that's kind of how I got into that. I was already a leader. I already had kind of grown into a leader at some point. Leadership is my thing. I hate it. I don't like being
That's honest.
but this is where God put me. And I do really good at it. So I need to grow into it more, and I need to embrace it. And that's kind of what happened when I became the director of a surgery center. I was just kind of like, okay, God, I guess. And so I stepped into leadership, and then I was like, I got to embrace this. I need to learn more. And so learning about leadership and diving into books and all of these things, like that's always been what I've done for years now. And so now switching from an employee leader into an entrepreneur, business owner leader, I didn't realize that there would be a shift, but there is.
Yeah.
So now I'm growing even more into my leadership, and I'm not even the same person anymore that I used to be, which is so cool because I've had to do such inner work and deep dive into myself, and I get to do that personal development side of things. So, and now I get to mentor others and how to be a leader. And that's always been a passion of mine. Even as a nurse, I loved it when new people came into the OR and I got to share with them how to be an awesome OR nurse. Like, that is so much fun to me because I know how to do it, right? And so now in this business, I've been successful in affiliate marketing in the online space. And now it's just like the same. I'm like, okay, let me show you how to do this, because then I get to see them be successful. And that's when it makes all the difference. Like, me being successful is really cool, right? But when I get to see somebody else that I taught how to do it be successful, then it's like, oh.
It's like your babies, you know? I love it. That's great.
So cool.
That's so amazing. That's fantastic. That's a lot of things to put in like to one person's life, you know, as you're going. How do you find time, or how do you make time for yourself? Like, there's a lot that has to go on in here. You know, you're having a relationship with God, you're growing yourself, you've got ideas that you need to hatch, you've got problems to solve, and you know, dots to connect, and I've got these kids, and how do you get your best ideas? You know, what do you do, like, in order to create the room that's needed in the mind in order to, you know, have that creative space, I guess?
I love that question. Such a great question. My favorite thing to do is to get outside, honestly. And that's part of the reason we're back in Alaska, because I love Alaska so much. What I love is getting out into the wilderness. I love being as close to nature as I can. So for me, I get up, you know, a little bit early. I have a dog that loves to go outside for walks, right?
Good deal.
And maybe it's a little bit more of me loving to take her on walks, but getting out and taking her on that walk, like the fact that she forces me every morning, like, okay, Mom, it's time to go for my walk, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that is where I can clear my mind. I spend that time listening to music, podcasts, even in prayer, honestly. But I go for this walk with my dog, maybe 30 minutes, whatever. I don't even know, but in nature. Sometimes it could be in nature in a campground.
Yeah, sure.
Here in Alaska, you know, it's out in the middle of the woods, right? But that time in nature, that's what rejuvenates me. And I never really knew it until now. Like, I'm getting into it, taking off my shoes, doing that grounding thing, walking barefoot through the woods, right? And that's where I found like so much peace. And that's where I find my best, like I get my best ideas. So I make sure I have my phone on me, because otherwise I'm just walking, and then by the time I get home, I forget everything I thought of. But I have to have my phone on me. So I pull up a note and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to say, or this is what I need to do. And that's where my creativity sparks.
That's fantastic. I mean, folks, I did not pay her to say that. I mean, that is completely my mission, is help people, entrepreneurs, to get outside more, to do that, to prioritize. You have this walk going in the first thing in the morning. A lot of times we kind of leave it for like, well, after I finish work, then I'll take a walk. After I finish this or that, or and you could have 17 years pass where you don't go outside,
Mm-hmm.
But I think by prioritizing it, like you've done, I would imagine that kind of, the things you thought of while you were on that walk, they play into your day. And because you took that time, because you invested in yourself and lavished that time on yourself, like, it's not like you've got all the free time in the world. You're a tad busy, but you still, prioritized it enough that you did it. And my hat's off to you. Well, I'm not actually going to take my hat off, but theoretically, metaphorically, hat is off to you for prioritizing that and doing it. And I love that you've found a way to capture your ideas, because the biggest lie in the world is, I'll remember that. It's so good, I couldn't possibly forget it.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yes. And then you spend the next 3 days, it was like, there was a thing. What was the thing? Insane. Oh my gosh. I wanted to ask you also, internet, what are you doing? Because, being in an RV, so we're on Starlink here. Is that what you have going there, or?
Yeah, actually we got Starlink last year, and I can't say enough good things about Starlink. It is so amazing.
Yeah,
we really actually used it when we left Alaska last summer. We usually come up to Alaska's for the summer. And so we left in September of last year. We had it mounted on our RV, and we were able to use it in motion the whole way through Canada. Amazing. The whole way. So like, I was able to get on Zoom calls, and I'm like driving with no cell phone reception for 2 days, and I'm on a Zoom call because of Starlink.
It's amazing.
I love Starlink. So yes, that's what we use. One time we did park underneath a tree, and so that was a little annoying.
Oh, right. Yeah. True.
Because it's mounted on our RV, so we couldn't really move it.
Yeah.
But we still were able to get internet. We have a method where we can connect certain types of internet. So we have a backup of T-Mobile. We have a T-Mobile hotspot. And then our cell phones are on AT&T. So really we have 3 service providers. Yeah. And then we use an app that kind of melds all 3 of them together. So for things like Zoom calls and things that we need a higher bandwidth, we can meld these 3 providers together, and then we have great internet. So
oh my goodness, I need to know about that app that does the melding, because so we have consumer cellular for our phones, which is an AT&T network, and then we have Starlink. But there are times, and I'm surprised it hasn't done it, but you get a lag and you're like on a Zoom call, like frozen for about 80 seconds. So.
My husband, he's such a nerd. But
gotta
I
have
love him
nerds.
so much for it. So the app is actually called Speedify. And I believe we pay a subscription for it, but I think it's only like $20 a month or something, which is totally worth it. Sure. So all we have to do is just turn it on, like on each device. So I turn it on my cell phone, my iPad, and then other devices, and then it melds them together. So
nice. Well, that's helpful to me. Thank you very much. I will pass that along as well, because I suspect that we have a lot of digital nomads coming into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. So that's really cool. All right. So, you've got your kids, you're homeschooling, you've got these businesses humming along, growing as they're going. What would you love to see in the next several years?
Well, so I love nursing. Like I don't want to say that I'm completely done nursing. So my goal actually in the next year, even year or two, is I actually want to go on a medical mission trip.
Oh, wow.
And so my business is I'm building them so that I can fund that, because it costs money to volunteer.
It does.
In that way. But that's one of my goals. That's one of my biggest goals. And it is not something that I ever would have thought possible before, because when you're working as a nurse, why would you take your vacation to go be a nurse?
Exactly. True.
So now I do still work as a nurse every once in a while whenever they need help, especially when I'm back home in Alaska. I left on really good circumstances. So I'm like, hey, I'm in town, you need me? And they're like, yeah, we do. So I go work when I have the ability to, like on my own schedule. So I can still keep my skills current, but within the next year, I'm going to be going on a medical mission trip, and I'm so excited.
That's great. That's so exciting. Do you have a place picked out, or is it still kind of in the ideation?
Just kind of wherever the Lord takes me. So obviously I've been in the OR for a while. I have a community of people that work in the OR, and there's a lot of people that do medical mission trips frequently. So I have some connections. I know who I'm going to reach out to, like when the timing is right, which again will be within the next year. And I'll reach out to them and be like, hey, when's your next trip? I'm going. So I don't care where, I don't care when, I'm going.
That's so cool. I mean, what drives you? I have guesses, but I'm just going to ask you, what drives you?
A few things. First of all, my love for Jesus. The other thing is my kids, my family. Like, they are my everything. And so now that I can be home with them, now that I can pour into them, that is what fills my cup. That's what makes me happy. That's what gives me joy in my life, so I can pour into them. But then again, I love pouring into other people too. And that's weird. I know I'm a weird person, but
I don't see it.
I mean, I don't think that's very common in our society, I guess. You know, people are in it to take. And that's not me. So, you know, once I have, you know, I'm following Jesus and what he wants me to do. And then the second is my kids. Once they're all taken care of and they have everything they need, then I'm able to pour into others out of that abundance. And at the same time, because I'm pouring into my kids and my relationship with Jesus, I'm also pouring into myself. So that's like, you know, this triangle effect, you know, that I'm taking care of all these things that are important. But then, like I said, out of the overflow, I pour into others. And yeah, it's been going into entrepreneurship it's not all easy. Like, I make it sound incredible because we're doing all these things that people only dream of sometimes. But I'm going to tell you, there are hardships. You probably know. There are struggles. There are times when you're just like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
But in those times, I know I am where I'm supposed to be, even though I'm not happy with where I'm supposed to be right now. It's not meeting whatever my mental picture of what it should be is. So I don't want to, you know, come off on this saying like everything's all wonderful and great, because it's not. But there has to be something that pushes you forward through those times.
Yeah. I think when we sense a calling and we do whatever development we need to do so that we can follow that calling, there's a sense of peace that comes that's like, you know, a lot of people talk about find your why. I chatted with Jackson Kalame last week, and he was saying it's more about find your who, which that resonated, because it's like when you have people that you love so much, like first your family, and then, you know, these other people that you're helping, it's like that will pull you through a lot. I know, for us homesteading on the property where we're building the retreat center, I mean, we're sitting with no heat right now. There's some things, we're like, when we first got here, it was just raw land and a barn and no anything, and it's like we've been able to do stuff. But what kept me going the whole time was just this love that I have for our future guests that are coming, for the community that I'm building. I'm so passionate about helping them get that freedom that they need so that they can go spend time outdoors, so that they can, do the deep work, so that they can have that margin, I guess, in their brain. When you have that love for the who that you've got, it's like you can do a lot of hard things, doesn't make them not hard, but you can do them now,
Absolutely. That resonates so much. And that's what got me through nursing, honestly. Yeah. Who am I there for? I'm there for the patients.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes that's really hard.
Yes. Yes.
But it's the who are you there for? I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That resonates so much.
Well, I saw it in you. So I figured I'd, put a point on it. So, that's incredible, man. So speaking of, things get challenging sometimes, what are some things that you're, looking to tweak, to change, to grow in, as far as on your business? What are some areas that are, you're looking forward to some improvements?
Yeah. One of the biggest things, and this has been a struggle for a couple months now, it's letting my personal life get in the way of my business. Mm-hmm. So this is where, as a nurse, when you leave home and you go to work, you kind of shut off your home and you turn on work, right?
Yeah.
But now having to juggle being home and working at the same time, sometimes things get in the way. So I'm going to be completely honest. We live in an RV full time. Our RV is broken right now, super broken. It was a manufacturer's defect and it's been fixed. This is the third time that they've had to fix it. So it's now at the manufacturer. Mm-hmm. We haven't had it since May. We came back home to Alaska because we have family up here and we figured you guys can work on that while we get to explore and enjoy Alaska, right? Now that it's getting to be winter, I never expected to still be here.
Yeah.
But it's not done yet because of, when you get things like an RV in for service, it takes some time. So it wasn't drivable. So we had to drop it off. It wasn't drivable. We can't continue to live in it while we're waiting for them to fix it. But of course, there's a waiting period. So we haven't had it since May. So with that said, that's all these things going on in my personal life that just are so depressing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to take that RV all over Alaska. Mm-hmm. I wanted to explore. I wanted to do all these things. And then we get up here and we don't have it. What I viewed for our life this summer is not what actually happened. Mm-hmm. And so I've started to allow that to affect my work and my business, meaning that I don't always show up for my business when I should. So that's something that I am working on. And actually, I found some other people in my community that we are all in this together. We do the same thing, right? And so we're starting to collaborate and move forward together in our businesses. And so now I found support. Not that I didn't have it before, but it's a community. So now we collaborate on a smaller level and we help grow each other. So I can't say enough how important it is to find people that are going in the same direction you want to go, because they're going to pull you in that direction, even when you don't feel like you can pull yourself, right?
Yes. It's true. It's true.
But they're going to pull you forward. And so that's where I am now. And that's kind of what I've reached out to a few people and I'm like, here, let's do this together and let's go forward. Let's explode our businesses. It's the last quarter of 2024. Why not?
Yeah. Oh,
So
I love that.
that's what I'm working on, is trying to, you know, now that I'm home, differentiate personal life and business and still show up even when it's hard to do that.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think not the specific details, but I think most business owners run into something like that just kind of like sideswiped, broadsided, where it was like, I'm sure you thought, well, we'll have it back by July, August, maybe, being adding a little padded, like I want it in June, but okay, July, August, it'll probably,
Right.
And then to still not. And then to be honest, there are days where you're probably like, are we ever getting it back? Like what the heck,
Yeah.
And I think every business owner can run into stuff like that in life where it's like, what on earth? This is not what I planned, imagined, not even worst case scenario that I imagined. And it can, the mental stuff that goes in there is enough to sidetrack you, but I think you nailed it where you were saying, again, it comes back to the people. So having those collaborations, being in the room with people that are you have this shared goal. You're doing the same thing. You want the same things, and you have that same mindset where it's like, we can help each other. That makes a huge difference. I think that's just the power of a really great community, and you've built that, and that's fantastic. And who knows where it can happen with that. That's, that's really cool. I think that's awesome. Man, well, all right. Let me find out, where can people find out more about you and about what you're doing, and any links that you would like to share, anywhere you'd like to send people?
Honestly, the best place is my Facebook page. So reach out, friend request me, and we can start a conversation. I am here to build my network, because your network is your net worth. Okay. So important.
Absolutely.
So, if you are the type of person who, just like you, Sue, this has been so much fun. If you're the type of person who is a go-getter, you're an adventurer, and you have these big dreams and goals for your life, but you just don't see your current circumstances getting you there, then I can probably help you.
I like it.
So reach out to me, connect with me on Facebook, and I got you. We'll be in this together.
That's fantastic. I love it. And I hope that at some point when you do get that RV back, come on down to Tennessee.
Oh, that's the goal. So we were in Tennessee in April, and I just loved it so much.
That's so cool.
So at some point we'll be back, because we didn't get enough time to explore there. We were only there a week, and I don't know why I did that, but I was like,
because you didn't know it was going to be so awesome.
No, actually it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks we were there. We went to Kentucky for a week after that.
Okay.
And anyways, love both of those places.
Yeah.
So cool. But we have to go back, because I found out there's a lot of caves in Tennessee that we didn't get to explore.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't get to go to East Tennessee, which...
Oh, well, that's where we are. So you got to come. And we have caves.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we will definitely be back, and I'll hit you up.
I would love that so much. Don't come when it's muddy, though, because your RV will get stuck. And then, I don't mind if you stay here for a year, but...
All right.
That's
awesome.
So cool. So great. All right. I'm going to kill the recording, but stay here.